we are going to be sharing with you our top 10 tomato variety picks. We grow a lot of tomatoes and have tried a lot of different varieties, and these are our opinions of the top 10 that we will always probably grow in our garden.
Check it out if you want to see what we picked.
So as you can see, we grow a lot of different tomato varieties, and we've tried a lot of different tomato varieties, and there are so many out there, which makes tomatoes a really fun thing when it comes to growing them, and the flavors can be really different among the different varieties. Since we've been growing tomatoes, you kind of start to narrow down which ones are your favorites. So I guess a little disclaimer, this is our personal favorites. We like them for different reasons. Maybe we just like the flavor overall. Maybe we like the compactness of the plants with some of them, or the fruit they produce is really uniform. So we'll tell you our top 10 and we'll tell you why they're in the list for our top 10.
Another thing I'd like to add is we've always tried to grow 3 or 4 of every variety. So we're not just having one seed come up and then it turns out to be, not a good representation of that variety. So we kind of have a decent idea, at least for what's grown in our soil and our climate, if the variety has performed or not.
Yep, and we've given them a couple years to try it again. Maybe we messed up at some point, or maybe this got to them or that got to them. So we've given them a fair shake, we feel, and these ones have performed really well with how we've experienced them. So anyways, we'll just get started right away. We kind of put these in order of if we could only grow one variety, or how we would like our top.
Which one we'd give up first or not anyway.
So down here's number 10, I guess, the one that we would give up first, and then it works its way back. So our number 1 tomato variety that we would grow if we could only grow one is bush steak hybrid tomatoes. The reason we love this is because they're your traditional red tomatoes, nice round tomatoes. They don't crack, they don't blossom and rot all too much.
Hardly ever.
Yeah. They put on a really tremendous amount of fruit.
Per plant.
Yes, so much fruit per plant, and the plants are compact. They're very small, and we've noticed they say they're a determinate variety. So they're determined to set out a certain amount of fruit. But we notice we pick the first yield of them, and then they will have some more. And it's almost like we get 3 at least good picks, and they're always ripening.
They're good too for canning and cooking because they aren't really watery.
Yep.
So they're good for use for that.
Yep, they're good for just slicing. They're also good for picking and taking to the farmer's market.
The fruit is, like a big, round, normal tomato. It doesn't look like an heirloom, like what people think of as an heirloom. I know not all heirlooms are craggy and cracked and whatever else, look at compare that to our old German tomato that is an heirloom. That's what people think of an heirloom, and bush steak is just round and
So attractive, pretty, typical tomato flavors, great plant. We love these. That's why they made number 1 on our list. Our number 2 variety of tomatoes that we would always grow is called sunrise sauce. This is a sauce variety, but it's also a really good, just snacking, fresh eating tomato. It's a yellow tomato. They get about that big, maybe 1.5 to 2 inches, I would say.
I think they're bigger than that. It's like a Roma tomato.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the year.
They look like a Roma tomato.
Yeah, so they get a decent size, but they can come in kind of smaller. Is what
Sometimes.
I'm saying too. They can. Yeah, so really yummy. You can cook with them. You can just eat them fresh, and they produce like crazy. They produce a lot on their plants. And yet again, plants are kind of compact with these. They are not as compact as the bush steak variety, but they're pretty compact. So that's why they made number 2 on our list, and we are growing to take to the farmer's market, so they're just really reliable in that sense as well.
They're great for making. We made a bunch of good sauces and different canned stuff with them too, so that they're all around good tomato.
Definitely. All right, number 3, one of your favorites.
Bloody Butcher, one that we stumbled across. The name kind of got us, I guess, but
weird.
It is hands down the earliest full-size tomato that we get, even though it's a small, golf ball size tomato.
Yeah, that's what he means by full size, golf ball size.
They're not a cherry, but they're not a big tomato either. But they pack a lot of flavor in a small tomato. They're high acid, kind of I guess you want a big full tomato flavor
in a small package.
In a small tomato, they're really great in like a salad or just eating fresh or whatever.
So this is our favorite variety for starting early in the greenhouse in a big pot with enough soil and bringing it in and out when we get those big cold snaps. But having tomatoes early, Bloody Butcher is our go-to variety, and it's what we've been doing the past couple years.
It's an indeterminate plant too, so it'll keep producing fruit all year long as long as you take care of it. Yeah,
so pretty good variety. Check it out if you haven't tried it. Bloody Butcher. And number 4 on our list is just a fun snacking tomato, Sungold tomato. A lot of people have heard of them. Little orange, yellowish looking tomatoes that are just super sweet, super yummy. This year we did try Sungold Select 2, so I put these in here. I didn't notice a huge difference.
They didn't produce as much as the regular Sungold.
As far as flavor, I didn't notice a huge difference, but they produced less.
Yeah,
the Sungold 2 Select. In our opinion, we had at least 3 plants of them. So regular Sungold is on our list. I know they crack. That is the most frustrating thing about them. But otherwise, just like an amazing flavor and hard to beat when you just want to go out into the garden and pick a couple tomatoes for a salad or just pop them in your mouth. So number 4 on our list, Sungold.
Number 5,
a good one.
Cherokee Purple. Most people know it's an heirloom. The flavor is amazing.
So good.
Outstanding.
So good. So beautiful. We really like these, and they're just hard to beat. I don't even know how to describe.
Probably one of our favorite
eating tomatoes.
Fresh eating.
Like if you just want to eat a really yummy tomato, this is so good. Yeah. You can't cook with them though as much. It's easily, like when we make sauce with them, they hold a lot of water. So that's why they're this low on the list, because we can't use them that long term.
Talking to other people too, a lot of people say like black krim, but we've grown black krim before. The black krim that we've grown are just way more watered down than the Cherokee Purple. Yeah. So the Cherokee Purple is more meaty and outstanding.
That's a variety we love. So anyways, next variety is Old German is what it's called. And I actually put the little picture on here from the seed catalog. So the seed packet didn't really look like that when it came to us. And these tomatoes are gorgeous and they are so yummy. They're like yellowy, stripy inside. Inside the flesh, it's like a little bit of red and yellow mixed together. Super good. Yummy. Just good.
Big tomatoes too.
A little bit sweeter though, not your traditional acidic tomato flavor, which we do like that as well personally. So
they don't put out as much as some of the hybrids though, as far as the amount of fruit.
Yeah.
But bigger fruit.
They're big, and when you get them, they're so good. Number 7 on our list is Chef's Choice Bicolor. We have tried pretty much all of the Chef's Choice series, and the bicolor one really stood out to us. It is kind of comparable to the Old German that we put next to as far as the way it looks, but this one we've grown for at least 3 years, 2 or 3 years I want to say, and it has become one of our top favorites to just go pick and eat. So that's why it made the list. We are still learning about this one, I would say. It's kind of new to us.
That place in our lineup is just kind of taken by Chef's Choice, that whole lineup. You really can't go wrong. Whatever you're looking for, if you're looking for a red, a pink, yellow, whatever color or variety, all those Chef's Choice, they grow well, they put out a lot of fruit, and they're always beautiful fruit and they taste good.
Yeah, so I guess, you're right. This whole lineup does take Chef's Choice, all of those, but the bicolor out of all the Chef's Choice varieties we've tried stands out the most. So that's why it's right here. The next one is one that's actually new to us this year. This is called Anise Noir. It has a really cool color. It's like green, red.
They look more green, I'd say, when they're ripe.
They almost look like they're not ripe until you feel them and you feel, oh, that's a ripe tomato. But they taste really yummy. They're really cool looking. And
unique flavor.
Unique flavor, yeah. We will continue to grow these and to just kind of get to know them a little bit more. But
they seem pretty productive last year when we grew them.
And last year we kind of had a tomato flop year. If you've been following our channel, you probably realized that by the videos we put out about our tomato garden. But this variety still did pretty well considering our mess ups. So that's why it made the list at number 8. Number 9 is one we've grown for a couple seasons, and it made the list just because it's so cool and it is yummy when we get it, but you don't get as many as some of our more productive varieties up there. So pineapple is the next variety that we like. It's a massive orangey yellow, I'd say more yellow, fruit with just a lot of meat inside of it, I guess. Not like super watery or anything. Really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so...
Big eye-catching tomato if you want to sell it
yeah.
at a farmer's market or whatever.
Yeah, or just eat it. Like, it's like
Yep.
amazing to go, I grew this giant tomato. So, the last one on our list for the year 2024 at this point with what we've experienced is Barry's Crazy Cherry. And the reason that this made the list is because these plants produce like crazy. They have so many little cherry tomatoes. They're a little almost like teardrop looking. Would you say teardrop?
Mm-hmm.
Teardrop looking tomato that's yellow, has like a pointy tip at the end.
And a big cluster.
A huge cluster. Like, I mean, you can kind of see from this picture, but it is a huge cluster of fruit. And we get a lot of fruit off of these plants. These plants get big though, and they get messy.
The fruit is small too, so it's kind of they're kind of a pain in the butt to pick. And the other downside to those is that they take a while to ripen.
They do.
They kind of are towards the end of our season at least.
Yeah, but they are really yummy too.
Yep.
We've had people come back and say, "What are those little tiny yellow tomatoes that are kind of pointy? I want a basket of just those."
They seem high sugar.
Yeah, they're really
sweet.
good. So that's why they made the list, because they stand out a little bit and they're really yummy, and they're kind of like the Sungold. Like, if I want to go in the garden and pick a cherry tomato to eat it, I'm going to pick this or Sungold. So that's why they made the list. Well, there is our lineup for 2024 of what we think are our top tomato varieties that we will always grow in our garden. Now we realize we're always experimenting with new varieties, so this list might change. And we know in your climate it might be a little different. You might be more susceptible to like blight or other conditions or fungus or other things, so some of these might be tough to grow. But here in our climate in Montana, in our pretty dry, hot summers, these grow really well for us, and they're our top, and we love them.
Thanks for watching, and check out our garden when we get it planted in May.
Yep, we're pretty excited.